You own 6 rental properties in Albuquerque. 3 of them have functioning tenants. The other 3 are teaching you about human creativity and structural damage. 308 Negra Arroyo Lane has been in the functioning category for 11 years. Walter and Skylar White. High school chemistry teacher, reasonable income, family man, 2 kids, timely payments, 0 complaints. Until now. The first neighbor complaint comes on a Tuesday. Noise disturbance, shouting, a car peeling out at 2 a.m. You file it. Everyone has one bad night. The second complaint is 3 days later. Chemical smells, strong, like industrial cleaning products, but worse. The third complaint mentions suspicious vehicles at odd hours. You schedule an inspection. This is what you do. Properties don't maintain themselves, and apparently neither do the Whites. You arrive with your clipboard, your camera, and your professionally cultivated sense of dread. The Pontiac Aztek in the driveway hasn't moved in 3 weeks. You know this because you drive past twice weekly to check on your properties, and that car has been gathering pollen in the exact same position since mid-March. Also, it's the ugliest vehicle you've ever seen. You're not even sure it qualifies as a vehicle. It's more like transportation-themed punishment. You slap a parking violation notice on the windshield. The lease specifies operational vehicles only. If it's abandoned, it needs to go. If it's not abandoned, it needs to move. You're not running a storage lot. Then you look up. There's a pizza on the roof. Not pizza debris, not pizza remnants. An entire, uncut, uneaten pizza sitting perfectly preserved on the roof like someone teleported it there. All 8 slices intact. Pepperoni, green peppers, olives. You can see it from here. You take a photo. Then another. Then you walk around the house to get the angle for shingle damage assessment. This is a first. You've seen furniture on roofs, satellite dishes, Christmas decorations left until July. Never a structurally sound pizza. You make a note. Pizza removal. Tenant responsibility. Shingle inspection required. Possible water damage if grease seepage. Charge accordingly. The pizza stays. You'll deal with it. The backyard has a pool now. A full, in-ground pool. With deck chairs and proper filtration. There was no pool 4 months ago. You specifically remember because you did a yard inspection in December to check the fence integrity. No pool. Now, pool. You pull out the lease. Section 7, paragraph C, tenant must obtain written landlord approval for any permanent structural modifications, including but not limited to room additions, deck construction, pool installation. They did not obtain approval. You're standing there with your measuring tape calculating setback requirements when Skylar White walks out. She's in a bathrobe. She looks at you. You look at her. You look at the pool. We need to discuss the permit situation, you say. She walks directly into the pool, clothes on, bathrobe and all, lies there face up in the water staring at the sky. You wait 30 seconds to see if this is a bit. It's not a bit. Mrs. White, I'm going to need documentation that this installation meets municipal code. There are setback requirements. Also, I think you should get out of the pool. She doesn't respond, just floats. Fully clothed. You make another note. Pool. Unapproved installation. Verify permits. Tenant experiencing possible mental health crisis. Follow up. This job used to be simpler. The garage smells like a chemical fire and a hospital had a baby and left it to die. You're standing in the doorway trying not to gag. There are stains, multiple stains. On the concrete, the walls, even the ceiling. You're not sure how someone gets chemical stains on a ceiling. That requires dedication or catastrophe. Are you folks doing a lot of heavy-duty cleaning? You ask Walt, who's appeared out of nowhere looking twitchy and pale. Cleaning. Yes, cleaning products. Very industrial grade. These look like phosphine stains. His face does something complicated. I mean, I assume they're from cleaning products, you continue. There's been reports of a meth problem in this neighborhood. You folks should be careful. Those labs are dangerous. Chemical exposure can... We're very careful, he says quickly. Good, because I'd hate for something to happen. Meth contamination destroys property values. Insurance nightmare. You should probably warn your brother-in-law. He's DEA, right? I always see him around. Walt makes a noise like a tire deflating. You take samples for the hazmat inspection you're definitely requiring now. I'll need you to properly dispose of whatever cleaning products caused this. The stains are going to need professional removal. We'll discuss costs. He just stares at you. The Aztek still hasn't moved. Rent arrives 4 days late in a grocery bag. In $25,000. Cash. Rubber banded in stacks. There's a note. Sorry about the delay. This includes late fees and any repair costs. You count it. Twice. It's all there. And then some. You've seen weird tenant payments before. Mostly personal checks with insufficient funds and creative date calculations. Never a grocery bag containing what appears to be someone's casino jackpot. You report it to your accountant. You're not accidentally becoming part of a money laundering scheme. Your accountant says if they're paying in cash, document everything, take the money, and ask no questions unless you want to know the answers. You don't want to know the answers. Probably lottery winnings, or life insurance, or an inheritance from a dead relative who really loved grocery bags. The pizza's still on the roof. It's been 6 weeks. You're starting to respect its resilience. Walt is never available. You've tried calling 17 times. It always goes to voicemail. You've scheduled 4 inspection appointments. He's missed all of them. Family emergency, Skylar says. Family emergency, she says again 3 weeks later. Family situation, she tries the 3rd time. The 4th time she just hands you $5,000 cash and says, I'm sorry about the inconvenience. This family has either the worst luck in medical history or they're in witness protection, possibly both. Maybe Walt saw a mob crime and now everyone's in hiding, which would explain the paranoia and the cash and why Hank's always around providing security and... You're writing fan fiction about your tenants. This is a new low. Hank corners you during your 5th attempted inspection. Big case, he says, drinking a beer on the driveway like he lives here. Biggest of my career. Right here in Albuquerque. We're talking major operation. Huge. Is it the meth thing, you ask? The neighborhood issue. He nearly chokes on his beer. How did you... The neighbors keep complaining about suspicious activity, and there's definitely a meth problem around here. I've been worried about property contamination. Is it close to this area? He looks at you with an expression you can't parse. You have no idea how close you are. That's concerning. I should probably warn the Whites. They've got kids. Hank makes a sound like he's been punched. You okay? Fine, he says. Just fine. Everything's fine. He drinks more beer. DEA agents are weird. And the foundation inspection reveals a crawl space entrance you hadn't noticed before. You're down there with your flashlight checking for moisture damage and structural concerns. The entrance is small, dark, definitely storage space, possibly foundation access. You shine your light in, it's deep. There's something back there. Looks like boxes, maybe Christmas decorations. Probably boxes. You make a note. Crawl space, structural evaluation needed, possible moisture issue, tenant using for storage. You don't go in. It's probably just storage. You close it up and move on. Some choices save your life. Some choices save your sanity. This one saved both, but you won't know that until later. By month 9, you've developed theories. Theory 1. Walt is having an affair. Skylar knows. The family's imploding. The cash is guilt payments. And Theory 2. Walt has a gambling problem. They're hiding it. The stress is destroying everyone. The cash is winnings. Theory 3. They're in witness protection. Walt testified against someone dangerous. Hank's actually their handler. Everything is extremely classified. Theory 4. Walt's secretly rich, won the lottery, and is pranking you with weird property damage as a stress relief hobby. None of these theories explain the pizza. The pizza remains unexplained. You arrive for the final scheduled inspection on a Thursday morning. There are words on the house, enormous words, spray-painted across the entire facade in dripping black letters. Heisenberg. Your first thought, what the fuck is a Heisenberg? Your second thought, this is definitely not covered by the security deposit. You're immediately furious. For professional vandalism cleanup costs a fortune, exterior paint matching, potential brick damage. This is beyond standard wear and tear. This is malicious destruction. You call Walt's number, goes to voicemail. You leave a message that's essentially a legally admissible scream about security deposit forfeiture and professional cleaning invoices. Then you start photographing, every angle, full documentation for the claim. You're mentally calculating exterior repaint, roof repair from the pizza, pool removal, foundation work, hazmat cleaning, graffiti removal. Your phone buzzes. News alert. Local chemistry teacher revealed as meth kingpin Heisenberg. You read it twice. There's a photo. Walter White, your tenant, standing in the desert in a black hat and sunglasses looking like every movie drug lord ever. You look at the photo. And you look at the house number. You look at your lease. You look at the pizza on the roof. The chemical stains. The cash. The pool Skylar walked into fully clothed. The crawl space you didn't check. The Aztek that never moved. Hank saying, you have no idea how close you are. The industrial chemical smell, the paranoia, the family emergencies, the grocery bags of money, oh no, you were 3 feet away from probably millions in drug money and you noted structural concerns and moved on. You rented a house to a meth kingpin who cooked in the neighborhood you kept warning him about. The DEA agent wasn't providing security. He was investigating his own brother-in-law. The pizza isn't random property damage. It's evidence of a mental breakdown mid-drug empire. Your phone rings. It's the insurance company returning your claim call. So, you say, hypothetically, if a tenant was secretly a major criminal and the property damage was enterprise-related, would that be covered? Long pause. No, they say, that would not be covered. Hypothetically. Still no. You hang up. You're standing in front of what is now one of the most famous crime scenes in American history, with your clipboard and your camera and your very detailed documentation of lease violations that suddenly seem extremely quaint. The security deposit was $1,200. The damage is easily 6 figures. Also, your tenant is either dead, in custody, or on the run. Possibly all 3. Also, the house is probably condemned. Also, you can't sell a landmark of national infamy. Also, the pool definitely doesn't have permits. And the insurance claim gets rejected. Criminal enterprise-related damage isn't covered. Neither is tenant secretly being a meth kingpin. They suggested you pursue the estate. The estate has no assets. The money's been seized. Skylar's broke. Walt's dead. Or disappeared. Or both. The news keeps changing. You can't rent the house. It's condemned. Hazmat situation. Also, nobody wants to live in the meth house. You can't sell the house. It's famous. People take selfies in front of it. The property value is somehow negative. 3 weeks after everything breaks, you drive past at midnight. There are people on the lawn, throwing pizzas at the roof. Tourist attraction. Of course, the internet loves this. A pizza lands perfectly next to the original, which has somehow survived 11 months and become structurally integrated with the roof itself. You're paying property taxes on an uninhabitable structure that generates 0 income and infinite liability. The lease specifies the tenant is responsible for all damage. The tenant cooked methamphetamine in your rental property and became a national symbol of American moral decay. You're pretty sure that's not covered in Section 12, Paragraph D. You update the property listing anyway. Historic landmark. Some damage. Motivated seller. Cash only. Please stop throwing pizzas. Nobody responds. You're sitting in your car outside 308 Negra Arroyo Lane watching someone's pizza sail through the air in slow motion. It lands on the roof. The crowd cheers. You start laughing. Then you start crying. Then you're doing both. And you can't tell which is which anymore. Somewhere in the crawl space you almost checked. There used to be enough money to buy this house 40 times over. You made a note about structural concerns and moved on. The Aztek's still in the driveway. Hasn't moved in 13 months. You should really tow it. But honestly, at this point, what's one more violation?